So in this video, I'm going to be addressing a sponsored request from a viewer. His title says, Rules for the Beta, which is me, is what he's saying. This is particularly insidious. You're going to see why in a moment, and I'll explain what's going on and what potential remedies are to a situation like this. It's not good. Anyway, he says, so I read your book, I listen to your channel frequently, help me understand myself and feel validated. He says, I have a intimacy kink where I like to give, how am I going to phrase this, backdoor intimacy. I think that'll make sense to you guys if you're an adult once in a while. He says he likes this. It's always been a thing that he digs. Fine. He says, I think my ex-fiance gave this to me as she was into it. I don't want a steady diet of it, but it's a freaky thing here and there that I do enjoy. And he says, my wife hates it. So I never ask her. And the handful of times we've done it since we've been married, which has been over 15 years now, he says she's initiated it, and usually when she's drunk. Isn't that interesting? She says it hurts and that it's unnatural. He goes, that's fair. She has her full bodily autonomy. The problem is, and this is where it gets insidious, is she participated in these festivities. I got to try to rephrase the words here. She participated in backdoor festivities frequently before she got married to this guy. It's more than you can count on one hand, and it was all done mostly in high school, possibly multiple times by each guy. He says, she claims to have only had 2 past partners prior to the marriage, conventional, in the conventional sense, not the back door. Anyway, she says that she only had 2 past partners, but used the back door so that she could feel more pure due to her religious convictions. I know some of you have heard this story before. She apparently said to him, I was a horny teenager. Now he says, that crushes me. I've told her, be my horny teenager wife, essentially is what he's saying. And then he says, watch the rage ensue after that. Now, here's where it gets a little on the offside. For the most part, I don't really care about her past until I'm reminded that I have the rules, but the alphas had all the goodies for free. Recently, somebody from her past popped up. He didn't even date her, and he was one of the guys that participated in the backdoor festivity. So this is bothering this guy tremendously. He says, I saw him at our son's school as his kids attend there as well. She made an overt comment to me that she was surprised that he didn't say hi to her. This triggered me and brought back feelings of being the beta bob provider husband that I am. He says, I'm not an alpha male. I wish I was. I'm not particularly tall. I have a full head of hair. I was handsome when I was young. I had a lot of female action in my life, but I've sure aged and definitely look my age at 40. I'm strong, about 15 pounds overweight, decent income at around $350,000, nice house, nice things, 2 beautiful boys, but starfish intimacy is the norm today. I know what I need to do to level up, he says. My question is, though, how do I communicate to her that her past doesn't necessarily rattle me, but it's the rules that she has for me? I try to articulate this, and she keeps hearing that I'm calling her promiscuous. I keep saying, I just want all of you. She says she doesn't feel loved and that I'm unkind. I literally can't get it through to her. I also explain that men and women have different value systems. Her past and my past are similar, but I'm a man and she's a woman. She insists that I'm now being misogynist. We're at a total stalemate. I love her, and we are good together as a team, but the intimacy sucks. I'm not even that needy. Thanks so much for your wisdom, speaking the truth. By the way, guys, if you want to make a request, a sponsored video, there's a link to that pinned in the top comment. Now, the reason why I said this is particularly insidious is because she's essentially rubbing it in his face. Ladies, if you've done stupid things in the past that you're unwilling to do with your husband, don't rub it in their face. Don't mention it over and over again. Don't go to a high school event and point out a guy that you gave something to him for free that you're refusing to give to your husband, or that you complain that you don't want to give it to your husband because it's now unnatural somehow. It was natural before when it was something that you wanted to subscribe to an organized religion, or you wanted to circumvent a specific law when it comes to your organized religion, but you're now denying that of your husband. The guy that makes $350,000 a year, the guy that has provided you with children, the guy that provides a roof and a household and a life for you, you're denying it to him, but you gave it away for free to other guys. Ladies, it's a very, very bad idea to rub it in the face of your husband. Now, I think this guy knows why it's happening, as do many of you viewers today right now watching this, and it's because she didn't marry her first choice. This is almost always the case. This is almost always what it boils down to. When a woman has genuine burning desire, she's willing to do anything for that guy on an ongoing basis. She will do it when she's not drunk. She will do things to placate and please you that you know that you like, and with enthusiasm. and not call you a misogynist and not suggest that you're being mean or unkind or whatever, language is being used in such situations like that. Now, the reaction is often, well, what do I do? How do I fix this? And I'll be completely honest with you. The fact that she's rubbing it in your face like this, and the fact that it's been going on this long, you're gonna have to get to the point where you surrender to it. And there's a number of different ways to handle it. So let's take a look at it from different angles. It's funny because I had this conversation with a few of my boys. We chopped up this guy's problem amongst our conversations, and the vast majority of them were all saying basically the same thing, like, this marriage is pretty much done. Like, if this is that important to you, this marriage is going to be pretty much done, or is done, because you now have contempt for her and she has contempt for you. And I've said this many times, contempt is the clock that ticks down to the end of the relationship. Contempt is not a good thing. It is a bad look, and it almost always goes to a place where it's, let's end up untying the knot, or we have to untie the knot. So it's a very, very difficult predicament to be in, and one that you certainly do not want to find yourself in if you can avoid it. So make sure, guys, that if you are getting involved with a gal on a long-term basis and you're talking about a girlfriend or a wife, or you want to have kids with her, you do it with women that have genuine burning desire for you, as I outline in my book. My book is a critical tool that you need to get in the hands of your younger brothers and your sons so that they cannot make the kind of mistakes that this guy did, where he signed up for a marriage with a woman that he fancied, that he found hot, that she was missing something for. Because again, he really values this. So there's one option is, this is pretty much a done relationship. Surrender to it, like I mentioned earlier, and just accept that you're not going to get it. The other option is you can just tell her, look, man, this is really important to me. I've enjoyed it in the past. It's my kink. It's my thing. If you're not willing to participate in the festivities, I'm going to have to go find that somewhere else. And that might seem unkind or odd or bizarre to hear, especially from me. But at the end of the day, if it's that important to you and you really want it, but you still value your family and you still value all the things that you guys do, you might be surprised at the contingent of women out there that might just say, okay, fine. Just don't bring home any diseases. Don't knock anybody up. I don't want anybody knocking on my door. Hey, I got Rich's kid, surprise, sort of thing like that. Don't embarrass me. Don't take her on vacations. Definitely don't take her to any of the restaurants that we frequent that family and friends might see you two at. Keep it on the down low. Simple as that. You might be surprised. There is a contingent of women out there that just be like, I don't want to do it. I hate it. Go find it somewhere else. Just don't tell me about it, right? So there's that option. You're not going to be likely to persuade her to do it. This isn't something that you're going to want to take to marriage counseling or some nonsense like that. That's not going to solve the problem. It's a matter of either tying the knot, go into a new relationship, which is unwise if you have small children. You're far better off raising those kids until they're adults, surrendering to it and just accepting that it's not an option to you, or going and getting it somewhere else. So that's really what you can do, guys. This guy is really disturbed by this. There's certain things in this that I wasn't able to read aloud because of the language that was used, and I'm trying to keep this clean for the public on the internet. But it's incredibly important to understand that if you have a kink, if you have a fetish, if you have something that you like, and in the leading up to phase of children, because everybody wants a family, it seems, or most guys, seem to want to have kids at some point. If you want to remain intact as a family with that woman and live together and raise the kids together, you need to have a chick that's a real good fit. And I'm sure he had a pretty strong indication from the start, from the get-go, that she wasn't that fit. All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here, where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.